Okay, let's talk about uh, how to build walls in this video. Start off with a new project file from the architectural template. And you remember back to a previous video, I said before you start drawing anything, you want to create your levels that you want. So let's go to an elevation. And another way of creating levels is to copy one. And so I'm going to select my level 2 and go copy. And my start point, I'm going to use down here on level 1 and pull straight up until I get to level 2. Okay. Now it named it level 7 because I'm still working in the same file that I had, that I've been doing a lot of stuff in. So I'm going to rename that. Okay. So now I've got 3 levels. Let's go back to my level 1. I was zoomed out pretty much there. Okay, so walls. Over here in the architecture tab, we got the wall tool, and we hit the pull down. You can see we've got architectural walls, structural walls, and then a wall by face. Now, wall by face, we're not going to be dealing with pretty much any of this mass and generic modeling when it comes to the full building, because that's more on the very creative side of architecture, and that's not what we're teaching here. We're teaching you how to actually draw the drawings for the building. So, and the only thing that changes here is the type of walls that you have available. Okay, so let's just stick with wall architectural. And looking across the top here, we've kind of covered some of this before, but it's listed as either depth or height. Depth means it's going to go down from what level we're on. Most of the time with walls, you'll start and go up. We have it listed as an unconnected height, but I want it to go, and it says unconnected 20 feet high. If I know I want my walls to be 12 feet tall, I can tell it 12 feet. But in this case, I want them to go all the way up to level 3 because we're going to be dealing with an exterior wall. So I want to go all the way up. Wall location, if you look at your options here, you've got wall center line, you've got core center line, finish face, and core face. And I'll explain those, the core kind of stuff, once we get into building walls and wall families. For right now, let's go with finish face exterior and turn chain on. And offset, I'm going to leave it 0 because I don't want to offset anything. And I want to change my wall type just for this video. I'm going to go generic 8-inch masonry, just so you can kind of see. And now I made all these changes up here, and you can see those showing up in the properties here. Okay. And so when I draw a wall, I click and I start. I want to draw in a clockwise direction because that puts the exterior of the wall on the outside. Now, granted, a masonry wall is the same on the interior as it is on the exterior. I'll give you an example here. If I go down to one of these here, okay, so there's a wall. Let me go to fine detail here. And now you can see in this wall family, let's turn on color so we can see it better. We've got the CMU here, and then we've got some insulation and airspace, and then the brick. And see, I drew this one from left to right. If I were to See, I draw in a clockwise manner, and it puts the exterior on the exterior side. Good. I want to delete those. Okay, so that's just a good practice for you to get into. Now then, one of the things. Okay, so I forgot to mention while I was going through that, but when you're drawing in a command in a chain, and when you get to the last one, there is a close command, but it's not close. It's actually SZ. And you see there, close snaps, and then enter, and it will close your wall for you. I exited the command before. Well, that was really good of me, wasn't it? Because I need to hit enter. It's not wanting to do it. Anyway, okay, so enough of that. I don't know why that didn't work. Okay, so let's look at our wall here. Let's go to our elevation view, and we can see it went all the way up to level 3. Okay, maybe I need the top to go a little bit higher, like say maybe I got a parapet of some kind, or maybe I need it to go down because it's going to a footing that is below level 1. Maybe I didn't create a level for my footing. What I can do is I can select my walls, and I could select one wall and make these changes over here. And it will say my base constraint, let's give it a -1 foot and a top offset of a +1 foot. Let's go back to our elevation view, and you can see the change there, that it went up and down. Well, I'm going to Control Z back and get that back to normal. Now, if I need to change all of them, there's a couple of ways I can do that. I can select one wall, right click, and go select all instances. Of course, if I've got, lots more of them, it'll select all of them. Or when I hover over it, I can press the tab key, and it selects the entire chain, because I drew that with the chain in mind, okay? Okay, and so let's go to a 3D view here. And you can see it changed all the walls up above and below the level. Okay, so in what else have we got in properties over here? Okay, so we're going to cover structural later on. If it's a load-bearing wall, then it's a structural wall. However, certain parts of a wall may be structural and certain parts may not be. So we will definitely cover that later, in the course or in the courses. Now, once you've the process that I go through in creating a new building, I set my levels, I set my grids, and then I draw my exterior walls. I build the wall family if I need to build it. And then I draw my exterior walls, and I get them aligned to the grids and in the right places. And then I'll lock all that down. Then I draw my interior walls and get them in the right places, by dimensioning and aligning, and then I will lock them down. Then I start placing doors and windows. Now, you don't have to follow that, but I find it best to work with, to work from the outside in. So I build my walls my exterior walls, then I build my interior walls, then I do doors and windows. Because if you got doors and windows in place and you need to move a wall, it can cause some conflict for you. Okay, so that's the steps I go through. And if you've drawn this thing and your elevation markers need to be moved, maybe they're inside or maybe they're outside, you can just grab the marker, click it and move it. Okay, and all that does is it changes. Let's look at this. Let's go to show crop region. So you can see the crop region there is kind of big and we're off centered. So if I come back, well, the crop region didn't change, just the marker changed. There's my crop region there. But you can move the markers because the markers just or basically will show up on the drawings, and you don't want them like, scattered way off to the sides. You want them kind of neatly and brought in together. Okay, so that's exterior walls. We'll keep moving forward and we'll get interior walls, doors and windows and those kinds of things done for you.